guys, we are back for another Dokkan battle video. So today we are going to sweep the Dragon Ball Heroes Red Zone with the DOKKANFEST Kid Goku team. Now, I have seen a lot of discussion recently about, some of the best characters in Dokkan. Characters like Carnival Goku, Vegeta and Trunks, Final Form Cooler. Many people consider the Gammas among them. Maybe the 7th anniversary LRs, right? The Gods and the Super Saiyan 4s. All those characters mentioned are sort of like, the best characters that have released this year. I think a couple of band units deserve to be in the discussion as well. Yamcha, Android 8 right here, as well as STR Piccolo. But Kid Goku, dude, I got news for people. Like, Kid Goku is just, better than Gamma 2. And I think Kid Goku is really close to being better than Gamma 1. You could talk me into it. Kid Goku is just so dominant. It's unreal. His ability to give crit and damage reduction to the whole rotation, I just feel like it's something that you really need to, play around with yourself. Before you can feel exactly how powerful of an ability it is, right? It is a shame that Kid Goku is only supporting, sort of like some niche categories, Youth and Dragon Ball Saga, but between his orb changing, his damage reduction ability, him giving damage reduction to the rotation, it just leads to very dominant performances where he can completely take control and he could look like the most impressive unit in any run, on any given run, right? Like, he can outperform Vegeta and Trunks, Gamma 1, Final Form Cooler, Carnival Goku, all these characters. Physical Kid Goku could just straight up outperform these characters. So, our first fight against Cooler, not really too much to talk about with Cooler. He's just a hard-hitting boss. Even in Kid Goku can, do some things, as you guys can see. Like, we're able to handle business against Cooler. Alright, now we're moving on to the fight against Fu. I believe this is my very first ever run against Fu. Because when I was doing my initial runs, I used a couple of different teams, right? I used, I believe, Vegeta and Trunks for Cooler. I used Kid Goku for Fu, and then we used, Raditz for Cumber. Now, Fu can be kind of a tricky... Fu, I think, would be an incredibly difficult fight if his stats were just turned up. Like, if Fu, okay, so the typings for Fu and then his sealing ability can be pretty frustrating. So if Fu was, hitting like the Metal Cooler Core or something like that, this would be a devastating fight. Fu can be tough, right? Because he's Int in his second phase, and then he's physical, or he's STR in his first phase. So he has strong type coverage, right? That's something that some of the tougher Red Zone fights do, right? Such as the Omega fight does that as well, right? Where one of the main reasons the Omega fight can be so tough is that you really want to go in there with a full physical lineup, and then that STR Sin can be very, very problematic to have to deal with, right? STR Sin can be a huge nuisance to have to deal with. This fight has a similar thing. Although, of course, Fu is not hitting nearly as hard as Omega. He just does not. But, once we make it through this first phase, we're going to have a lot of physical characters, right? Like, we're rocking Super Saiyan Physical Bardock. Great Ape Kid Goku can be impressive if he can get a lot of super attacks in and he gets a lot of stacks in. But, of course, Fu seals him. So, every turn for the rest of this fight, Fu will randomly seal, 0, 1, 2, or 3 characters. It can be very frustrating when he seals your entire rotation, and many huge monster characters can really get slowed down quite a bit if they can't super attack and get a lot of defense. Fu could obliterate a lot, LR Final Form Cooler could get obliterated by Fu. Fu could really eat Final Form Cooler's lunch, or a lot of these really tough characters if they're sealed and they're not able to super attack and get their extra defense. So that is something to keep in mind. But, you know, Kid Goku is just too strong. Kid Goku has type advantage over Fu, right? I mean, Kid Goku triple supering, Rainbow Orb changing, supporting. He's, you know, doing everything. Now we're moving on to the Cumber fight. Now, I do think Cumber is actually a pretty tough fight. Cumber can do a lot of damage. Cumber can be a little bit annoying because he does have a lot of stuns that he's capable of putting off, right? I believe all 3 phases of Cumber can stun when he super attacks, which is really annoying to have to deal with, right? Because, you know, again, the same way Fu can be annoying with his seals because so many characters are getting defense on their super attacks. You know, if you put a character in slot 1 and then Cumber supers right away, he'll stun them and your character doesn't get to attack on that turn, right? So that's another thing that can be an issue. Now, occasionally we've gotten some of this. I need to make a tweet about this. If Dokkan is going to, like, sort of continue this style of content, right, I think the red zone style of difficulty is very good. Maybe people have an issue with the daily limits or something like that, sure, right, whatever. But overall, I think red zone style stuff is actually perfectly acceptable. One thing some of these bosses can do is they have status effects that they can put on you with their super attacks, right? Like stuns, seals, attack debuff, defensive debuff, stuff like that. Here's the thing. If you dodge, the boss does not get that status effect applied to you. So it's like, you know, Cumber stuns. Well, you know, Kid Goku dodges. No, he doesn't. Now you're not stunning, cocksucker, right? So it's like, you know, there's dodge. Just the longer the game goes on, the stronger and stronger dodge is becoming. Like it's literally better than it used to be, right? So I assume that might continue to keep up if they keep bosses in a similar fashion, right? And there we see Carnival Goku stun right there. Now the reason this fight can be very tricky, again, type coverage is really big, I think, for these red zone fights, these big red zone bosses. Cumber's final phase, he is a over 1 million damage super attack boss, so you have to take him seriously. Physical Super Saiyan Cumber at the end, you need to take him serious. But the thing about Super Saiyan Cumber at the end, he's physical, right? So you really do want to bring powerful STR characters in here. That I think is very smart to sort of help you out. And the problem with that, the problem with bringing powerful STR characters into this fight, is then you go up against this Great Ape Cumber, where he's doing these Great Ape AoE normals across the entire rotation, and depending upon the rotation, he could do a lot of damage. Now, this is where Kid Goku, of course, can really shine. Another super attack dodge. By the way, my Kid Goku has full dodge. Can you guys tell when he dodges every super attack aimed at him? What do you guys think? Do you guys think dodge is bad when every video, like, I'm dodging everything? Come on, man. Anyway, so Kid Goku will be able to completely dominate, right? Him getting the 7 key spheres to get the 8% damage reduction across the entire rotation is very helpful when Cumber is doing these AoE normal attacks, which can do damage to the entire rotation. And you can see, like, we're on turn 6. Namek Goku is not able to transform, which can happen with his type of transformation, and he's taking a lot of damage. That Great Ape Cumber can be very scary, very spooky, if you have a lot of STR characters. But for the most part, we should be okay, right? Android 8, of course, is untouchable. My Kid Goku, I'm very confident in. You know, with a lot of orbs and rainbow orbs, Kid Goku can live super attacks from bosses like Cell Max and the Metal Cooler Core. So obviously he can from Cumber as well. But, you know, if Cumber's going to super attack, we have a very good chance that Goku will just dodge it anyway. So there we go. There is the Kid Goku Red Zone Sweep. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys next time.